read. Oh, I need to open this and look at the picture.
Is there a?
Agenda's at the front.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Can I get verification of posting?
June 16th, 2026 by 5 p.m.
All right, number 3 is Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, number 4 is approval of our June 9th, 2026 council meeting. Do y'all have any questions or comments?
I move we approve the minutes from the June 9th regular council meeting.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next is our public comment period. I do not see that we have any public here, so we will move on to agenda item 6A, which is discussion and possible action regarding approval of the following individuals to the Clifton Main Street Advisory Board to fill current board vacancies: Don Cook, Chad Holt, Joanne Freeman, Susan Hickey, Savannah Lee, and Aaron Shields. If you don't mind.
Yes. So our board currently has some vacancies. To complete our board, my board has come to council to nominate these individuals for our board. So a little bit about each of these people, which I'm sure most of you know them, but Don Cook is Michelle Cook's husband. She is the current owner of Shops at White Horse Station. They've been very involved in our downtown. She's owned multiple businesses downtown, and he does construction for historic buildings. So he kind of knows that historic touch and has really shown interest in our program, which we appreciate. And then Chad Holt, he is an individual that is a creative. He's a musician, and he plays a lot downtown. He supports our Fall Fest by playing there. He is also on the BAC board, and so my goal for Main Street this year and years to come is to really work with the connection between all entities and our Main Street program within the city. I know us being a small town, it sounds kind of crazy to think like, well, why aren't y'all all like talking every single day? Well, we're all busy. So that my hope is that I bring people from each entity, from chamber, BAC, museum, hospital, representatives from all facets of our town to our Main Street board to then help them, give them a platform and a way to take what we're doing in the Main Street program and share it with those other places that they are a part of and serving on other boards and other committees and things like that. So that is my goal there for, I know Susan and Savannah are both currently on the chamber, and I know Savannah, she'll be stepping off. Susan is current president. I would love to have that representation there on my board because I think very highly of the chamber and Paige and everything that she's doing there. Aaron Shields is also the representative for the museum, And also I have Amanda Hoff, she and Caitlin Robinson currently on the board. They both are, well, Caitlin was president of the docents, and Amanda Hoff is currently on the board for the museum. So I have some representation there, and yeah, that's kind of my goal for bringing these people in.
Do y'all have any questions?
Thanks.
Are these gonna be rotating as far as terms, and are they gonna be staggered, or?
Yeah, so, these coming on will be on the same term. I think the next agenda item is to, renew another 2-year term for Amanda, Caitlin, Rebecca, and Cade. So it will be staggered in that way. So essentially every other year, half of our board will change.
Okay. Can we get that
No.
to put in the packet, just so
For
if we
sure.
ever have to check back, you're not,
Yes, absolutely.
have that? Okay,
I can do
great.
that.
If there's no other questions, I would entertain a motion.
I move that we approve Dawn Cook, Chad Holt, Joanne Freeman, Susan Hickey, Savannah Lee, and Aaron Shields to the Clifton Main Street Advisory Board.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next is B, discussion and possible action in regards to the reappointment of Caitlin Robinson, Cade Brooks, Amanda Hoff, and Rebecca Bird to the Clifton Main Street Advisory Board upon the expiration of their current terms. I think Haley gave a
Oh,
good
sorry.
explanation of that
Yes.
too. You gave it a good
Okay.
unless y'all have other questions.
And they've done great things for our program so far, so I really would love to have them back.
Okay,
I'll make a motion that we reappoint Caitlin Robinson, Cade Brooks, Amanda Hoff, and Rebecca Bird to the Main Street Advisory Board upon the expiration of their current term.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further comments, questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right. Now to the meat of the agenda, which is budget workshop. And I'm going to turn this over to our city administrator.
Council, in front of you, I know I passed these out before, there's some budget deadlines that I passed out to kind of give you an idea. I had emailed them out, but this is, just a hard copy in front of you to take a look at and just kind of let you know what staff is doing and when they have to have it in by, and basically the future meetings in the future. So if you want to peruse through that. Also, Cassie has printed out a budget for y'all, and that is a current up-to-date budget. And I just want to let you know, as we're sitting here, and as Cassie this morning, she's been updated, so this is current, and it's going to be more up-to-date on a weekly basis. There are still some things we still need to correct in the budget. The mayor will talk about some approvals that we would like to talk about in the future for the July meetings, what we would like to take a look at. But if y'all had a chance to peruse through the budget, you'll see some negatives in there. You'll see if you have any questions about anything, just feel free to ask. I want to give Cassie kudos. She's been working pretty much nonstop on this thing. Every day she comes in and pulls her hair out what little she's got left. So. But has done a real good job trying to put this all together for you. And working with Edmonds, we've been working with the auditors, still continue to work with the auditors. So it's a daily grind on that stuff. So if y'all want to peruse through it, I don't want to go line item by line item. I think it pretty much drove y'all crazy last year when we went line item by line item. But if y'all see anything that y'all want to talk about, we'll pull it out. If not, then if the mayor would like to address it, and then we'll get to staff and just talk about some possible capital items, what their needs and wants are for this year. We don't have a lot really to ask for because the CO is pretty much taking care of most of Public Works needs, and there are a lot of needs in there. So it'll just be very, very few and far in between. So I don't really have anything left to say right now. If y'all want to peruse through it a little bit, give you a little bit of time to take a look at it.
while y'all are looking, I'll sort of explain. In the July council meeting, we will be asking y'all to, between David and Cassie and Kat and I, to reposition some of this budget. It's a hard read, and this was something the previous CPA set up. And a perfect example is on the first page where it's court fines and miscellaneous. If you look across and you say, oh wow, we are way behind on court fines, but if you look underneath it and it says miscellaneous, that's the court fines. Things like that need to be cleaned up for us to look at, for staff to work on. Something else we've talked about is the CO. It is combined right now in the budget. So the bottom line really skews our budget. We don't have an $11 million budget, but with that money sitting there, it looks like it. So we're gonna have a sit down and ideally would pull that off and the CO be its own budget. It'll have its balance, its revenue, which revenue from the CO is the interest, and then line items of what we spent. So Craig and staff can keep up with it, and we can see it also, but it's not integrated in this budget to make it so hard. So there are still some things in here. Something that we all scratched our head about is at the top of a lot of our coded, it says control account. And so that ideally, Cassie checked into, and it is ideally the title of that,
It's just that category.
of the category.
Yeah, like
So-
Public Works, streets.
Yeah, city administrator, city secretary. And so like 509 is the city administrator. So instead of control account, one of the things we would do is just take control account out and put city administrator in bold. So you see it at the top of the line item, not at the bottom. It reads a little hard that way. So the next time we look at this, into July. In June, we'll talk about us being able to move some things around, and then at the July 28th meeting, we'll have started some of that. Will you have had time to? Okay. To move some of that around. I mean, one of the things that Cassie's done is we had this huge, almost $32,000 for phones, and we budgeted, but. Well, she's taken it and divided it all into each department, so we know what each department is spending on phones and internet.
Phone, internet, phone systems, hotspots, all that good stuff, so.
So it's easier for us to look at Public Works and say, this is what Public Works is spending on their phones and internet. Computer and IT expenses is gonna get broken up, and she's been working on that. And then the other one is equipment rentals. And so each of the department heads are even working now in the Edmunds. It even has a category of budget, preparing budget. So you can pull it up and start working on it. And they've started doing that already.
Lewis is finished.
Lewis is finished. So.
It's slow at the library.
It's summer, it's busy.
Yeah, we have been busy, that's for sure.
So, things like that, if there's things that you see in this that you feel would be easier, call and let Cassie know. And then we can discuss it at the July council meeting, which I believe, if I remember right, is July 14th.
I think so.
Is that right? So, because there's still some things that look skewed here. one of the things is security, and that is Carmen. And the school gets billed in June for her, and we usually get that deposited in July. So that's right upon budget, that line item comes out, right, that's, that revenue comes in. So, with all that being said,
What's going on police building maintenance?
They got, isn't that their cameras or
Something.
something?
Yes.
Yeah, for the.
What we're trying to do, council, is put things where they go in the right bracket, in the right line item, instead of just, oh, we got some money over here. That way we can readjust it at the end of year adjustment, which we're talking about, to go through at the next council meeting.
We had to get those cameras, correct?
Yes,
I remember this, but
they had their own audit,
yes,
and they had, or something like that, yeah.
yeah.
and that's in his request for this next year too. It's not a want, it's a have to.
Yeah.
Have to.
I really love the last column for a non-budgeter. It helps me, but it just helps me see like, okay,
In our year right now, we should be at 69%.
I like that.
So,
Right now, fire will be a little under. We're trying, I talked to Justin the other day about getting us receipts so we can, instead of checks, so that way we can get the fire department reallocate the money back to the fire department.
but this is current. I talked to Cassie this morning. Year-to-date expenditures accounts for that.
That check.
Check.
Did you account for all the checks?
Yes, I just need their receipts for,
We'll get all the receipts to justify the checks. Yeah.
What's their, how often do they turn in receipts?
so I talked to Justin, and he wants to go monthly. He said that would just be easier and cleaner.
Yeah.
I said if not quarterly, either one
It's a lot.
works for me, but he likes the idea of monthly.
Yeah, it seems more manageable for everyone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do y'all see anything else y'all have questions about right now?
I don't know, I'm on page 7 and 50 million.
Sorry.
Just kidding.
50 billion.
37.
It is much, even though there's still things to clean up, it's so much easier to read now. I think we're on the path to, don't y'all think? Or, oh, you did, yeah, you did see it before.
I think so. I think really just getting the money, you know, not so much having that overhead like we were, getting them into the correct departments is gonna make a lot of difference. A lot of things y'all probably won't even notice that I've made changes, but, I mean, that day we went over everything. I was telling the mayor this morning, I'm about halfway through that, making small changes, whether it be a name change or consolidating lines or, like Julie has a couple of, or she has 2 in-house events. I've got to consolidate that into one for expenses. I still haven't gotten to that one yet. There's a couple other
Well,
things.
3 of my line items are put into 1,
Yeah, okay.
so,
Yeah.
but needs to be fixed.
What's the, how come,
Not now.
I think we probably talked about this the other day, but like streets, fuel, it's on page 8. Like why, what do,
It's the same thing. It's just like you'll see police and you'll see public works.
was
do
it all in one fuel
Well,
before?
We started dividing it up this past year. It used to be just 2 accounts. You had one in revenue and one in general. And they were very large accounts. So we're trying to break it down into each department so we know how much fuel Craig is using and how much fuel PD's using. Not Craig in general. but
And that's
his
gonna-
Staff.
some of that fuel is honestly, there's a public, I think there's a public works.
There is.
Yeah. It needs to be looked at and put in its right category
Well,
also.
some of this is just the increase in the price of fuel
Mhm.
that was substantially more than we budgeted for.
Well, like Public Works fuel right now, it's showing that he's only at 26%.
Yes,
It had
correct.
expended 52,000, so,
72.
72. Well, he has 52,000 left. So they just need to be corrected.
Okay. I know, could you remind me, Craig, all your, I know this is, like how, I didn't write it down the other day, how everyone's divided up, because that matters on the salary. Can you,
Oh, your people?
the people?
Yes, I have it all written on mine somewhere.
Where do I want to write it?
Alrighty, I have in streets, I have Josh Chisler and Felix. In parks, I have Cody, Lonnie, and Tracy.
Cody and Lonnie and Tracy are in what?
Parks.
Surface water, I have Lorenzo and Josh Menon, but it should be, I mean, it's gonna change to
It's gonna change to
Renee
Renee.
and Josh Menon, is what it should be. I don't think I wrote the rest down yet, that's as far as I got. Yeah, he's supposed to go in a different one. Water clerical is Mark. Because he does like the meter reads and stuff like that, so that's why we put him.
And one of the girls up front, right?
There, Emily and Ashley is in water clerical as well.
That's straight where, I mean, that's the only spot there.
Is Ashley half?
Ashley will be half
She'll be
next
half
year.
court, half,
When we readjust budgets next year, she'll be half.
and then I'll have to have a finance section. Because right now I'm out of water clerical too, so that's not gonna be,
Is that all?
no, who else is there?
You got Bert.
Bert's coming out of sewer plant, or, who else you got, Greg?
Joe?
Joe.
Joe's coming out of water, I believe.
Surface water?
No, water.
Just water.
And Lorenzo.
What about Loopy?
I think there's 3 are all water.
Joe, Luby, and
Lorenzo?
Lorenzo.
That should be everybody, isn't it, Craig?
Me.
Well, you're coming out of Public Works.
So that's why, am I correct that like some of the salaries are, they
Revenue.
look wonky in the budget, but it's just because people have moved, not wonky, but like, it may be more of a percentage because they moved.
Yes, because like Cassie is coming out of, I mean, right now she'll be pulling hers half out of city secretary and half out of water clerical. And so the guys should be fairly the same, except.
Yeah, there's not much changing in there.
Except for Renee moving him over to surface water.
Where did you move?
And moving Lorenzo out.
Lorenzo?
Trying to think of which one I
Could be
just saw.
underwater.
I mean, Craig stays under Public Works, Mark's under clerical.
Oh, like Parks was at 86%.
I'd have to look on that one.
Well, Parks also has a lot of the,
That might be where Lorenzo's at. The thing is, it's hard, everybody does the same job.
yes.
So we just have to, we're trying to adjust it. Who does most of parks? Who does most of public water? So that's how we kind of allocate these to where each person does about 60% of their work.
Would you like to do it 2 minute synopsis for any new council members about how our operating O&M and our revenue, you know, taxes are paid for some and revenue pays for some.
Yeah, oh, you're talking about the $150,000 allocation, is that what you're talking about?
Well, I mean, revenue pays for certain things, water revenue and sewer revenue, and then
Yeah.
our taxes pay for, and you have to keep those separate.
We have a general account and we have a revenue account. And basically our revenue is anything that we bring in from water, sewer, stuff like that. And then the general is all your taxable items, like your property taxes, sales tax, and all that is listed at the front of your budget. Basically what that is, like property tax, your mixed beverage, your franchise fees, which is your electric franchise fees, Atmos franchise fees, and the garbage. And so those are basically what we call our general accounts, or anything else that is going to be revenue that we're like our water, sewer, all those are considered our revenue generating accounts. And so we try to figure out who, like when we're doing the audit, we do have $150,000 allocated in revenue that we transfer once a year into general, because that pays for salaries, like it pays for half of my salary, it'll pay for half of Kathy's salary, it'll pay for half of Taylor's salary, because in reality, we're doing revenue work and we're doing general fund work. So what we try to do is that's one way to be able to pull revenue out of the revenue account and put it into a general account. So we have to do, you know, debit or credit in, debit out. So that's how we can work in from one account to the other. But those are basically how those, how we pay for those, is through sales tax, property tax, that's general, anything that we bill out, water funds, all that stuff, that's all revenue.
Thank you.
Did that answer the question in 2
I
minutes?
think so. Yeah, and less.
In less than 2 minutes, there you go.
Y'all have any questions about that? It's an equation to work out, office staff and the guys, because like right now, the guys are all fixing the water main, pretty much. So,
Yeah, it's all hands on deck on anything, mowing, anything right now, water. How many guys you have out there yesterday, Craig? You had everybody pretty much.
Yeah, all but, I think, 3.
And I do want to give them kudos. They fixed a 30-foot line yesterday downtown. I mean, took out 30 feet and replaced 30 feet.
It was a long day.
It was so hot. I drove by in the afternoon and y'all were still out there and I was like, oh.
those little holes in it where y'all like standing over it with like kids in a sprinkler to cool off.
That was a good blowout.
Mm-hmm. And isn't police salary gonna be allotted a little different too? When we pull some of that out and put it over into court because Jamie did some things? Or are we just gonna let that ride?
We're just gonna let that ride this year, and then it'll wash out. We'll just have to, we'll have to transfer some court money over to PD to help out on the salary, because she did, for about 2 months, she worked in the court. So,
That'll be amendments.
yeah, those are just amendments that we were talking about that we'll bring you all in July.
Something else, and we'll just be mindful of it when we do budget this year, is insurance. We never know what the insurance is gonna be really until December, so we just try. This year, David and I have talked about it, probably at 12%.
10 or 12.
Richard, what is it going this year?
You never know. We don't know.
Increase.
Because we're off about 12%.
It's probably not going down.
Also longevity, before y'all do that, let me look at everyone's dates.
Yeah.
'Cause that's, a lot of that's off as well, because it just wasn't accounted
Budgeted.
for.
Yeah, well, what we're trying to do, we have a lot of the people's starting dates that were not correct, so we're trying to go back and correct all their personnel files. files and add certain things in the personnel files.
Taylor has been working on that.
Yeah, like Lewis's was off, his hire date was off, so therefore his longevity was off, so. Anyways, we got that corrected, but that's why his longevity looks off.
Just know that we'll be bumping insurance. We just didn't last year. So. I was trying to think of anything else that seems crazy, but some of the telephone stuff is gonna look funny, but that's what Cassie had been working on. Something else that David and Cassie have been working on is, there were just things that Dorothy showed them and taught them that needed to be done. I was like, what was that squeaking at you?
Sorry, it's my kid.
He's like that kid.
That Dorothy
You try to teach class and you just want to really.
pointed out to him. Now I've lost my complete train of thought.
So Cassie and David and Dorothy.
Was the text pool accounts and going back and putting in Edmunds the interest. So David spent a while figuring all the interest out.
The only ones that are up to date right now are the revenue in general, tax pool account, the interest on that. The other ones we're still going through. There's a couple of entries, not 100% what that was from. So I'm looking into that now too.
There's a lot of investigative.
A lot of it was, I mean, the tax pool, I mean, the big interest was right. I mean, but there's just small, like $100 here, $100 there, I don't know.
We probably think it's
I
those
think
smaller
it's one of these
accounts.
smaller tax pool accounts just got entered in the wrong
Place.
one. Just got.
So again, it's those quieter
So,
times of the day
I
that
gotta,
When is that?
yeah, you tell me when that is.
before 8 and after 5. I don't know, Cassie, do you, or David, do you know of any other?
What we would like to do, council, is try to simplify this budget a little bit more. It's hard to read for anybody to come in and just look and look in the back and find out, well, why isn't this up with police, or why isn't this in the court? And to put our revenue, if it's general revenue, we'll put it in general revenue. If it's revenue, we'll make sure we put those, and that way it's just, we'll combine it a little bit more and take a 38-page budget, hopefully down to about 20 pages. And where it's easier, so if anybody comes off the street and wants to take a look at the budget, they can understand it. And that's kind of what we'll do with the four-person committee that we're talking about. That way we just get in and we can just start saying, okay, do we need this? Do we need that? Let's take this out. Let's add this, so forth. And hopefully give you all a better budget that's easier to use.
It's truly gotten better every year.
If y'all are okay with it, we might move on to just what our department heads are wanting to get to improve things.
Do y'all have any questions on the budget that y'all can think of right off the top? Because what we'll do is we'll start with Lewis. I know Lewis doesn't really have a whole lot this year, but he's kind of a man of few words sometimes. They've been very busy at the library. I know he had about 30, 40 people down there yesterday, or the other day, for their summer program, doing a great job. But I'm gonna let Lewis, he's already got you a budget right there in front of you, so Lewis is.
Well, there are some things that I don't know about. On the salaries, I figured 4%. I've researched the numbers for COLA for next year are anywhere from 2.8 to 4.2. So, that's can be refigured later as we get a little closer. And same way with the insurance and that sort of thing. I kind of tried to do a history just to see kind of where we were, and I just came up with a number. And really not asking for anything this year in particular. I think we're in pretty good shape.
Looks like Lewis's budget from this year to last year, looks like he's actually going down about $5,000. So we appreciate that, Louis.
Well, there's some things, like I said, that aren't figured in there, so,
Well, we know, but
yeah. And
what's a good start?
it's a good start. So,
He has no capital or anything like that. You don't have anything that you're looking
No.
at, so. Okay, I'll save Craig for last, because he always has a few things. If y'all, Chief's not here today, but I will go over some of his stuff. He sent that out at the first year binder. It'll be right in front of your budget.
It's agenda item, or on C, your
Once
tab.
Louis got all his water stains PowerPoint fixed, he's been good to go ever
yeah,
since.
that's right.
No more PowerPoint.
Louis brought a Point.
He
It
showed us every spot.
every single thing that needed to be fixed in the library, but he had pictures with like a laser pointer. It was great.
Okay, Chris is asking this year, he talked about some flock cameras. There was a couple, I guess it's a couple months ago, and Merritt, you know
Last
more
month.
about it. Was it last month? Okay. That a car came through, we didn't have any flock cameras, and I believe it went through Hillsborough. Didn't they catch him or something like that?
This person actually, what's the word, scammed somebody, one of our senior citizens out of $25,000 or $30,000, but somehow they did get the description of the car and maybe a little bit of the driver's license plate. And so our officers put it out, and the flock cameras in Hillsborough picked him up. And so they were apprehended, and the money was returned because the money was in the car with them.
Oh, wow.
And I believe what this does is it takes your picture, your license plate coming into town and leaving town. So that way, if there is a crime or anything, they can actually see when that car came into town and when it left town. So that's a request that he was asking for. I don't know much more than that, unless is there any much more to explain on that?
That'll be it.
Today, we're just like talking about.
We're just looking
what
at
he-
things.
yes.
We're just looking at things, and right now, we're just basically asking, okay, what is your needs? What is your wants?
How many clock cameras would $18,000 cover?
I believe it's 4. I believe it's at each entrance. It's coming on the main arteries. It'd be 219 and Highway 6. That's what he was asking for. He's also asking for a patrol vehicle. I know in the past, we've got them 2 last year, and they got 3 the year before, so they got a total of 5 decent police cars right now. And that'll be up to y'all it'll be like a used vehicle, but anytime even though it's a used vehicle, 50,000 usually, to equip it is probably gonna be about 60, 65. And this is what PD's saying that and that's on the recurring cost. This, I believe, is what he is talking about they have to have. Is that the $18,000? Is it what is that the camera storage?
I think so, and they have to do that.
They have to have that. So that's 18,000 that we know we're gonna have to spend on that. And he's also asking for a $2 an hour raise for Jamie. And we could probably account for that probably in the COLA, and then me and the mayor and Kat and Cassie will go through to find out where we are in the budget process, to find out, how much we have for COLA raises. So we'll have to bring those back to y'all. That's it in a nutshell. I don't really know. He would be here to explain it a little bit better.
Can you remind me with the police vehicles, we discussed, instead of being in this position where it's like, we've used them all until they can't drive anymore, and now we need to buy a bunch all at once, which is where we were.
Yeah.
What the
rotation
Yeah.
is?
Do you-
Well, we talked about doing a rental. I know that Chris had talked about it
Lease.
in the past. Excuse me, not a rental, lease. A lease agreement. That every 3 to 5 years you would trade them out, because they
Right.
do take a lot of wear and tear. I would say, Craig has we're coming up with a service maintenance plan now, so we can start maintenance all the cars, so we can get better tracking of how many miles are on them, whether they had oil changes. We're gonna do that with PD also. I would say a good, like a brand-new car would go 5 years without really starting to have a lot of trouble. But after that, it's gonna start having a lot of trouble.
But we're buying used.
But the ones that are using them are like Chris, Curtis.
Yeah.
The heavily used patrol cars are the ones that are the brand-new cars.
Yeah, okay.
Would you like him to look into what a lease versus a
We talked
purchase would
about
be?
it in depth. We kind of went with our car guide that was sitting in your seat to, I mean, we took his.
The council decided they would rather purchase them than lease them.
But-
It was a cheaper upfront on the lease, but however, it was you're gonna spend this much every year on a lease. So where it becomes kind of more, yes, is it more economic? I guess more economical, it just depends on what you're looking at it. If we're trading out cars every 3 to 5 years and on the lease, instead of just having a bunch of used cars, we gotta take to auction.
And with the lease, you have stipulations too. I mean,
So many miles.
Yeah, how many miles, you know, what, okay, you can't trade back a junk car. And then, and yes, there are stipulations that if you have so many miles, they not tax you on that, they charge you for that, and they charge you for, any damages or anything. We've had a few dings lately. So, but anyway, if y'all would like that, I could have Chris prepare that at the next meeting to kind of just, I mean, not saying we're doing that this year, but for future reference, to kind
I
of take
just-
a look at that.
I want us to be wise with not putting the councils of the future in this place where it's like, the police chief comes and says, we need 6 new vehicles, and it's like, that, who, like, that's hard for any small city to do, so I would like it to be on a little more.
We could talk about that. And what we're doing too is I know we do have a gentleman that works for Craig that he is certified Ford and certified, I don't know, is he certified Ford mechanic or?
I don't think he's certified.
Okay, well, anyway, he's good.
He's experienced with him.
But what we're trying to do is what Craig's putting together is like, okay, he needs his oil changed at this many miles, tires rotated. So what we're trying to do is get a program together that has a list of cars, okay, is this car going out, is it failing or stuff, that just
Just
let us
taking
know.
care of what we have, I love that.
Taking care of what we got, I mean, right now, they're doing the lawnmower rotations, they're changing all the oil, I mean, he basically, it's just full-time, just him just rotating
And he's on
cars.
staff.
Mhm. You know, he's very good, so we feel like it's gonna,
We're paying him out of sewer. I'm just kidding.
we don't have a vehicle maintenance.
That's awesome.
So, anybody got any questions for, I don't know if I can answer them, but that's.
Well,
Great.
it's just, if we're asking, if PD's asking for $50,000, but it's really gonna be 60 or 65, we really need to know how much he wants.
I'm just going by what he had in the past. I don't know, 50,000, are you gonna purchase a $38,000 car and put $12,000 on it?
We need to know exactly what he
I
That
know
wants.
sounds like
exactly
the
what it
asks at
is.
my house.
So, I don't know what strings are
I
attached on
only
the
need this
50,000. So, we can find it and get a better explanation to y'all at the next meeting, so. All righty, Haley, I'll let you talk about your budget and where we're going with your stuff.
Okay, so I probably have what y'all consider fun money, but, so throughout the years, things have been just like lumped into Main Street, like events, and marketing and all of that stuff. And with me also doing grants, the city marketing, and website, management, public information stuff, I really think that needs to be sectioned out simply for the transparency of our Main Street program. Because although we just consider it Main Street, but we are a part of a state program coordinating program and a national coordinating program. And we have to turn our budget in each year to the state and to the national program. That being said, there's a lot of questions that they have about my budget because it does encompass a lot. Their concern is, and I'll just give you a short synopsis, throughout the years, the Main Street, the national program has kind of shifted more to economic vitality and retention versus events and tourism. So they want to see more numbers and more rehabilitation projects and beautification projects within your district versus how many people you're bringing into your district and what events are you throwing. That being said, events are still very valuable inside the district, but they're leaning more towards being the host of an event for other organizations rather than actually throwing the event yourself, if that makes sense, managing the event yourself. That being said, they always question the in-house events number. It's concerning to them that we have that much accounted for Main Street events, when in all actuality, they're more citywide events than they are Main Street events. Rather, like Fireworks in Lebowski is considered a citywide event versus in downtown. Mingle on Main is considered a Main Street event because that does raise money for our program. So maybe splitting those up would kind of help eliminate some of the questions. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if it's possible. It might not be something that you guys want to take a look at doing, but, and I can continue to explain to them, like, that's no problem at all. It's just, if we're going to be more transparent and make this a little bit more basic, it would be great to split those up. That kind of leads me into the donations section and revenue of Main Street. So Main Street actually makes money, and we do get quite a bit in donations a year. And then our Legacy Park also makes money off of the farmers markets. We do different things with our Downtown Merchants Association that brings in revenue. So all of that being said, we do have revenue coming in, and it would be nice if we could have a revenue portion of our budget as well to show for what we're bringing in and what we're spending for, like Fall Fest. I'll use that as a great example. Each year, we normally spend out of the budget, give or take a couple of $100 difference of what we get in donations. So really, if you look at it, we're only spending technically a couple of hundred out of the event's budget, but we're using those donations for other expenditures with the event, like marketing dollars. So that way we can eliminate coming for as much hotel motel money. That's just an example. So I would like to see that we have a revenue for each one of those events, especially Mingle on Main. I want to be transparent about what we're raising and how we're spending that money for our program. Example, buying new planters for downtown. So that's kind of my thoughts there. And then adding some lines. When this budget was created last year, I was under the impression when it was adopted that I had a promotions line item, a marketing line item, and an in-house events line item. Well, I think somewhere in the mix, it all got lumped sum into in-house events. And those need to be sectioned back out because our promotions for Main Street, that is, for example, promoting our program. So we each year buy an advertisement with Texas Downtown Association on their banners that they take along to their travel shows that has a picture of our town, and it says, you know, accredited Main Street program, and you know, that Clifton, visit Clifton, that sort of thing. So that is a promotion for our program. And then also an example, we're looking at advertising at the ballpark, the youth baseball fields, for our Main Street program and shopping local downtown. That being said, that would be a promotion of our program. And marketing is a little bit different. Marketing would be, what are we doing citywide? How are we marketing there? That would be, you know, paid advertisements, website maintenance, that sort of thing from marketing. It's not all just events. So I think it needs to be sectioned out. Another line item that I would like to add is a hospitality line item. So we do for our events, we do giveaways. Right now, we're doing a downtown decorating contest for all of the businesses within the district to decorate for patriotic 4th of July. And the winner business of that little contest is gonna get $250 marketing credit that we're gonna pay for them to use locally with newspaper, online advertisements, maybe added the Cliff Text. They can kind of use it at their discretion, but we kind of have some limitations on that. But that kind of needs to come out of hospitality. And then also, if we buy snacks or something for our Downtown Merchants Association meetings or our Main Street Board meetings, I feel like that would probably come out of hospitality as well. And please, if I'm not correct on any of that, because I'm not very experienced with budgets, let me know if that needs to be allocated somewhere else. Great. Another department, within the new departments, I think we need a grants, like budgeting, because we do have money coming in and out for grants, and how that's looks in the budget, I think is a little bit.
Where is that?
Back in
It's
the back.
it's in the very back,
It's in the back.
Yeah.
and it could just be my ignorance, honestly, of how it looks. It could be right, and I just need to freshen up how I need to be evaluating that.
Are you saying you want to take out, you would like to take like fireworks completely out of Main Street and put it somewhere else in the city budget? Is that what?
I don't know, like the tree lighting, I feel like that is more of a citywide, that's not really, it's in the Main Street district, but it's more, I don't know, see, I don't know.
That's something to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know where it would fall, just because.
Who does it?
Yeah,
Like,
because.
who does that?
The tree lighting, I mean, Public Works and me.
Yeah, we all kind of do it.
I mean, we don't really have a committee for it.
Maybe we need one.
I don't know, you need a committee for.
I mean, there's really not
Does
much
your board
to do.
help with that?
Yes, the board helps. And like, for instance, Main Street Board, I called on them to help with like hot cocoa, you know, that sort of thing. But it doesn't necessarily have to be the board, but it could be the board, if that makes sense.
Volunteers.
Yes, yeah. But if there could be more opportunity, for instance, a great example. My committee for the fireworks are not necessarily those who volunteer for other Main Street events. You know, maybe they want to be a part of a specific event,
Yeah.
but they're not wanting to be a Main Street volunteer to where I can call on them and be like, hey, we have this that needs to be taken care of. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
There's
no,
levels.
Fall Fest is interesting too when you're talking, just because like, it's such a combo. Like, the chamber gets
Mhm.
all the money from all the booths. It has nothing to do with Main Street. And
Right.
they do all that.
And
So,
we do
it's
all
a lot
the
of work.
logistical
I mean, I'm
planning.
not.
Yeah.
Well, that changed.
That changed
It
when
used to
we-
be Main Street did it all.
Right,
Yeah.
right, that's what I'm saying, but that's.
And it might need to go back.
Yeah,
it-
and it
you know.
can, I just, I haven't brought that back simply because it helps out the chamber.
Right.
And it's a great collaboration piece for Paige and I. I mean, that's why I haven't taken it back. Would the money be great? Absolutely. It absolutely would. But it's something to discuss. And that's all council's discretion on how we want to structure these events that we host inside our city limits and inside the Main Street District. Another thing is like with our committee in the past, when it went to volunteer-led in 2023, the bulk of those volunteers were business owners downtown. That being said, it is hard to have a committee full of downtown business owners when you're trying to produce an event that is downtown, because their number one priority is their business, not your event. And that is not speaking illy on anyone. Everyone pitched in as much as they could.
Well, they like the event, but they have to work there.
But they have to work their shop, and then it fell on two people. the whole thing, the whole day of, before planning and public works. And so structuring that a little bit different, and I'm willing to take any advice that you guys have, would also be ideal there. That's just, this is just talk, very initial. We can deep dive into it at another time, but just to get your gears turning.
Did we change our district, the Main Street district?
The actual area was changed, I believe, in 2023. So it is fairly new, and I can get you all an updated area if y'all would like that.
Because it used to just encompass the entire city limits of Clifton.
It does, it did, it is now a wee bit smaller. It stops, so it goes from Bunkhouse, so we're along Highway 6, Bunkhouse to Ace Hardware, and it stops there, and then it goes from Posey, well, it actually right behind the hospital. I can't remember what that street is. I don't even know that it's an actual street name, but right behind the emergency room entrance, from there down to the river. And it kind of breaks in and out a little bit.
Who did that? Did the council approve that, or?
The state coordinating program did that. So they kind of give you your bounds. They really, this was before my time. From what my interpretation is, it was given to us. But that being said, we can always appeal. We can always go back to them and say, they do have a form that we can fill out and say, we want to change our district. This is what the city is proposing. They take it to their historic commission, state historic commission, and 9 times out of 10 it's approved. There could be some question back and forth, but if that's something that we would like to look at, we absolutely can.
I think we just need to talk about it in-house on some stuff. And I think we can include a lot of this on your budget, because I don't know how I'd give a hospitality line item to Greg or to a special event or something like that. So it's something we would need to, we'll take a look at. And when we get this, these 4 of us together, we'll sit in and talk about how, I do agree, you need more of a breakdown. You need to know exactly,
Can you sort of do an idea of what you think? I mean, or what you would like to see, and that gives us something, then us just creating something for you.
Yeah, I can bring a proposal.
and I would like to, and I know Cassie's talked about it, I know the mayor's talked about it, is do breakdowns on these within the line items, like what your special event's gonna, what are we budgeting for Fall Fest? What are we budgeting for? And that it's just a breakdown that you can dive deeper into the line item.
Yes.
Expenses, revenue.
Expenses.
And that would help me out as well. You know, I keep a track of all expenses and revenue in-house, like in my office, but it would be nice to have it also reflect in the budget as well. Last thing that I have is kind of like some dreams, wants, and I have taken it upon myself to find another avenue. I know last year I brought to council about purchasing a data software to collect data for our numbers and to justify things that we're doing inside the district and citywide. And unfortunately, it's like 25 grand a year. That being said, we just couldn't justify it. So I have talked to Dorothy at the Council of Governments, HOCCOG, to see if there's some way that they could assist us in other smaller communities that she has, to maybe do some type of group membership. She is talking with Placer AI and getting with them on what that might look like. But I just wanted to put it on your radar as to it might be an option for us to buy into this group thing that the Council of Governments purchases, and then we pay into it with other smaller communities to grab this data. It's getting to where it's very essential that we have numbers. Numbers don't lie. Numbers help us with grants, and we're going to get to a point very, very near future where we're not going to get accepted for grants because we don't have any figures to like any in-stone numbers and patterns of people coming in and out and using infrastructure and not for us to be able to get these grants. And I want us to continue to get money. I want us to, grants are great, free money's great. And so that's something that I'm really heavy on, trying to find an avenue that is going to be cost effective for us to still get the information that we need. Another thing is potentially a renovation on the meeting room behind my office. We're in desperate need of a meeting space for inside boards. It's hard when we have the Civic Center, which is great, and I love being able to use it, but we have a lot of people using it. And then when we have regularly scheduled meetings like my Main Street Board meetings, Downtown Merchants meetings, that sort of thing, it's hard to work around community things. So it would be great if we could get that renovated, not an extensive renovation, but just able to be used.
We talked about that in the past, just kind of fix up that middle room out there, probably possibly put a large screen TV. That way we can have, you have staff meetings, you can have, we have small council meetings, we could do a budget workshop as long as we have people, we open it up to the public. So I mean, it's just something that, to have like a board table you could sit around. So it's just, we've talked about it in the past.
Do we have a budget line item?
No, I don't
for
have
that?
a budget for that. I'd have to get somebody, one of the local guys to give us a quote on that.
That's all that I have.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we'll save Craig for last. I just go ahead and address, I know that we passed the CO this past year, 24-25. So a lot of Craig's issues that he addressed council in the past, we can take care of through the CO. So the sewer plant upgrades, the water plant upgrades. There are a few things that I'd like Craig to talk about, and he had brought some stuff up, and I've talked to the mayor about it. So I'm gonna let Craig do a couple presentations, and we'll turn the tables over, turn the mic over to Craig.
I guess as far as my full set of line items, as far as my budget, Cassie's still working on filling in. We didn't have the same line items in every department, so this year's budget's gonna be a little bit.
There should be like a building maintenance for
Yeah.
most all his, equipment maintenance.
Building maintenance, equipment maintenance, but I mean, just kind of have similar line items in every department, so I'm kind of comparing and see where we're actually spending. Like I say before, some of the equipment repair ends up being in the parks department equipment that should be in public works. So that part of it we're still working on. But within that part, I guess what our capital expenses end up being is, like on our water meters, I brought y'all a visual effect there, of what a water meter looks like. But that's one of our typical small water meters. And the thing is with the water meters, the electronic meters that we get automatic reads on here to City Hall, those are already 20 years old. I believe they were put in somewhere around 2000, I'm not sure. But some of that addressed all of our residential meters. It did not address our commercial water meters where a lot of our larger meters are. So those are still manually read every month. And the other thing is, our new meters are 20 years old. Our manual read meters are probably twice that. So there's probably meters in the ground that are 40 and 50 years old. And the problem with that is, with time, they slow down. They just wear out and slow down. So we're not necessarily getting accurate readings on all of our commercial accounts. So what we're wanting to do is spend at least $125,000 on replacing the meters. The average cost of the meter is $1,000. The meter, the electronics, to go with that. And part of that $125,000 would be to replace the electronics in the new meters that we have, because the battery packs are beginning to die, so we're not getting accurate readings, just because they're not sending signals anymore.
It's instant gratification too. We'll make money immediately.
Yeah.
It's gonna pay itself back quickly.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't being billed the correct amount.
Basically, they're just getting a
Some
minimum
of them are
charge.
getting the minimum bill every month, and they're using twice as much water as that, but it's not giving that accurate reading. So, I mean, there's definitely gallons, our gallons being used against what we're billing is a huge difference, so.
And also on top of that, without getting accurate meter readings, I have a hard time doing the reports that are due every year to Texas Water Development Board, TCEQ, so that would help on that end also. Because right now, without getting accurate reads, it's just registering as lost water. And I know the volume of water we show as lost water is not due to leaks.
So this would actually be a capital project that would pay for itself. And what we thought was this would be a beginning and to come back and show the council, okay, this is what we were reading, and with the precise reading now, this is what was actually being used. And for many, many, many years, people have gotten really good deals on their water.
The ones we have changed, we've had immediate questions. What's going on? Why are my bills, jumped? And it's just, they've been lucky for the last 20 years.
Started
They've
reading
had.
accurately.
But we've got roughly about, between the manual read meters that are probably 175 accounts, there's probably an additional 50 of the newer meters that we have that probably aren't accurate, or giving us accurate readings.
So we'd like to ask for 125 this year, and then possibly, like the mayor said, come to y'all with what kind of the study that we've come up with, okay, it's increased, this, and give y'all a more accurate number for next year, and then possibly do the same thing next year. But it's gonna take a few years to go through all this, and it'll take one person probably 6 months to go through all these meters.
But we did want to start talking about it now and talk about it at every meeting so that the public is informed that we are doing these upgrades. And with these upgrades, don't be surprised to see your bill. We're not charging you more. It's just,
More accurate.
it's more accurate. And we all have been receiving
Well, and
Water.
also with those smart meters and upgrading, they can, as you all know, they can monitor their own water usage online. So that helps when they have that information given to them. They can see, oh, yeah, I only watered for a few hours, or I only watered for 30 minutes in this section and 30 minutes in this section. That's a lot of water going through, and they just don't realize that. So that's kind of a tool we offer along with those.
Did anybody know
meters,
that?
so.
We probably need to advertise that more. We have an app that you can actually download and put your address in, and it actually tells you your water usage.
And it'll throw
If you have a leak,
abnormal, like, hey, this isn't normal for.
That's the eye on water.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it'll tell you if you have a leak or anything.
Or abnormal usage, whatever, so it's a good tool.
Any questions on the meters?
how many meters would that do again?
Well,
125,000.
they average $1,000. The small meters like this, like serve residential areas, are a little bit less than $1,000. But you get off into the 2-inch meters, like some of the larger commercial, they're gonna be higher. They're gonna be $2,000 or $3,000.
So is 125 enough? To
What do you
make
think?
this,
I would think for a year, it probably will, because it will take
we talked
a
about
couple
that
hours
going
for-
and
a couple
looking.
hours for each meter just to install. And some of the commercial meters that are in concrete vaults, I mean, it's a day-long process of changing them.
Okay.
And we can't just dedicate all the staff to changing out meters, so it's gonna be one or two guys for roughly, like I said, probably 5 or 6 months.
Okay.
So I don't want to overwhelm them with, that's all they're doing for a year. So let's see where we are, and then we can bring it back to council next year if they decide to go with this and to approve this, and we can have a better reading next year on kind of, okay, this is where we were, this is where we are now.
I'd be curious just to see the number of gallons that we think we're losing, or that we're coming out versus what we're actually collecting on.
Well, every year I do it's a water loss audit through Texas Water Development Board. And, how they come up with their actual numbers. Last year, we registered at 20 million gallons. I know it's not anywhere close to that. But we produce like 12 to 14 million gallons a month. So,
Is that how much we charge? I mean, we charge for that much, or that's how much is
That's how
actually?
much we treat.
but,
Treat. Okay.
yeah.
It's substantial.
Yeah, I just would be curious to tie the actual, if we charged for that, what would that number? If we do 125,000, and assuming that then makes it more accurate or even increases it accuracy by 20%, is that gonna cover that 125,000 or more or less? That's just,
Y'all were talking about it would probably pay for itself in a year.
Year and a half.
At some point in time, Texas Water Development Board's gonna require us to upgrade meters, just because the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to want to know exact water usage, just because, Texas is in a depleted water source over the next 30 years. Okay, next.
And the only other thing I would, have a request for is one more new truck this year. I've still got 6 to 7 trucks that are over 20 years old. So they're increased maintenance every year. So,
And we can also take a look at a possible good used truck with low mileage on it too. So take a look at that. We do have a couple trucks that really need to go to auction.
yeah.
They're bad shape.
I've got one we've just taken it out of service because we can't keep it maintained. But I'm looking at anything from, the mid-size trucks up to a half-ton truck, I think we're setting well for heavy trucks, 3/4 tons and heavier. So, in the price range there, I'm looking, to buy the truck and lights and toolboxes, somewhere between $40,000 and $50,000, just depends on what we can find.
We have to take a look at four-wheel drive trucks, just from where they drive them up in the water plants and going to the top of number 7 and all that, and going out in pastures. So it's got to be a four-wheel drive truck.
At some point, we'll be able to get to where we're only needing light-duty trucks 4 in town, because a couple of guys don't go to the well sites. We can't get by with smaller trucks.
That's all we got. I mean, council, I tell you,
Wait,
Oh.
do we need to roll over a couple of capital fund projects that probably won't be funded this year? So do we want to roll those over, like the downtown and Avenue Q?
we talked about that, because Avenue Q will, well, if we get that study back, we could possibly do Avenue Q, and it's gonna be pushing close, so.
Before the end of the year?
Yeah, we can take a look at Avenue Q and the downtown project. Downtown project depends on what happens. I know that we've got a study out right now that, we'd like to present to y'all at the July meeting. We will have Finley Horn come and give y'all a presentation of the study. But we're gonna have a joint meeting between EDC and council, just so everybody can ask questions. It's a good thorough study. We've had 3 different sets of engineers look at it. There are probably some questions. I mean, I know that they talked about doing some phasing. I'll let him talk about all that and the pros and cons of phasing in different things. But yeah, we'll probably have to go ahead and move that 300,000 that we were planning on budgeting this year over to next year's budget, if we decide to do the parking plan. And then Avenue Q, we would take that out of the street sales tax, and whatever the study shows, we can present that to council.
The geotech.
Geotech. As Rustin said, we only have one option, because we don't have no money.
Words are good stuff.
Oh, sorry. Does anybody have any questions for staff while you're here?
Thanks for all your thoughts. Greg, I'm disappointed that was the most boring one you've done yet.
I told him to show a picture of the meter open, so you could see the inside.
Well, this one I cut off the internet.
Yeah.
It was only boring because usually he's like needs a bunch of weird stuff that I never knew was needed to run the city. It's all the secret stuff no one knows about.
And to give you a little update, I know that we're talking lift station, they came out, the engineers came out, was it last week? Looked
Last
at-
week.
And getting measurements, so hopefully within the next, 3 to 4 months, we should be go out on bids for the lift station. And that's one of the fun projects down there. And we don't know, we're roughly thinking anywhere from 700,000 to about $1 million on that, so that's just a brief update on that. 7th Street is finished, thank goodness.
Are we gonna put a bump there?
Yeah, we got a little bump down there, but we need a bigger bump. We'll put a stop sign down there at O and 7th Street. So, but it's a very nice street, it's very well engineered, I think it should last several years.
Was there a
More than several.
was there a stop sign there before?
Didn't specify the year.
Was there a stop sign there before?
No.
How is that? How do we decide where we put stop
Slow
signs?
them down.
Slow 'em
No, no,
down.
no.
So no go-karts?
How do we decide? Do you just get to decide?
Don't we let Chris know?
Huh?
Don't we talk to
Chris is
Yeah,
usually does the
We usually
recommendations.
deal with PD, so we do need to go through our inventory and put out stop signs at strategic locations. And we need to, that's another thing I would like to take a look at next year, I'm glad you brought that up, is street signs. Our street signs we don't have any street signs.
I did talk to
They're going to
someone at
be-
the women's prison in Gatesville about signage, and she said, contact, what's the other prison?
Well, I contacted
Huntsville, we
Huntsville,
Yeah.
we contacted, and they,
Yeah.
you know,
It was
it's just,
very-
it was just very convoluted. It'd just be easier. to-
Meridian's got new signs. Maybe we'll ask where they got theirs.
So I would like to possibly put in the budget this year, bring y'all back some pricing. Last year, I think we got a price about $35,000 to replace all our signage in town.
I also believe TxDOT does do street signage, and they charge the city, but I'm not really sure if it would be out of Waco or where, but could get more information there.
Yeah, I called Jeff over there, but I would like to, people get lost in town, so.
So in July, all of these should be a little bit more tied down for y'all and rolled in.
Yeah, and is there anything y'all want to take a look at as a council, that y'all have a project you want us to take a look at over the next month and possibly get some pricing?
You told me to come with that.
Kat's getting her pool.
The pool-
Maybe.
Okay.
It'll happen.
Concrete, will it be poured tomorrow?
The pool budget with all its
Supposed to be
zeros are.
Supposed to be poured tomorrow.
Okay.
It's been a slow process because of the rain. It's just very frustrating. But it'll
It pretty
be-
much evens itself out, so,
Mhm.
with the expensive payroll and things, so.
So if there's anything that y'all can think of, just give me a call. We'll take a look at it. And I'll tell you, yeah, it's gonna cost this, or it's just gonna be astronomical, or yeah, we can take a look at that.
I won't discuss my dream of a running loop around, walking trail around Clifton yet.
Well, we'd like to get a grant through Texas Parks and Wildlife. There's some stuff we're looking at.
I need some numbers. Coming soon.
All
Okay,
right.
I don't have anything else.
I move we adjourn.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Bye.
Any opposed, say sign. We are adjourned at 12:20. Thank y'all very much.